Welcome back into the Cover 4 podcast brought to you by WUTK's Rock Solid Sports, where we've got you covered with all things NFL. With Bryson Wright, Jack Foster, Riley Haltom, I'm Joseph Bonanno, and guys, the mighty have fallen.
No more unbeaten.
10. No more unbeaten teams in the NFL.
The Miami Dolphins are celebrating again the 1972
Miami Dolphins, yes. They will remain as the only undefeated team in NFL history for now because the Commanders and Taylor Heineke did their thing on Monday night.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a crazy game because the Eagles, like, wait, what did you say you were going to say before the game about what the Eagles did on Monday Night Football?
They fumbled the bag.
They fumbled the bag, literally.
All right, listen, we'll get into it. Week 10, crazy week. A lot of upsets, a lot of bounce back wins for a lot of teams. And so we'll get into it with our games of the week for week 10. And since we're already talking about it, I'll kick it over to Bryson because we already know what his is.
Well, can we start? Obviously, the game of the week was Bills-Vikings.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that because that's my pick.
Let's not trip. Like that might have been the game of the year, game of the decade. Like, I don't know. It's probably top 5 that I've seen in the last 10 years. Like that was a crazy game. But
wild.
Commanders Eagles, the reason why it was my pick, not only because Joseph took the best game from the rest of us, but also because the undefeated team, the undefeated mighty Philadelphia Eagles are no more. And it's because of that man, Taylor Heineke. Well, not really because of him, mostly because of their defense, but coaching.
Y'all remember when the Pittsburgh Steelers were 11-0 and they went in on the road to a crappy Commanders, or at that time is the Washington football team. And, everyone was like, oh, man, there's no way that Pittsburgh's going to lose. They're going to go 12-0.
Yeah.
And then guess what happened? Washington,
the Grim Reaper,
is the upsets. Was
Taylor Heineke starting then too?
Yes. Was he? I think
it was Alex Smith.
Was it?
Right they went into Pittsburgh too.
Oh, it was at Pittsburgh. Okay, yeah.
Wait, and it was a road game last night too, right?
Yeah, it was a road game last night.
Yeah, it was in Philly.
13-3 in the final quarter. They came back.
Wow.
He owns the state of Pennsylvania.
Dude, the 1972 Dolphins should send Ron Rivera what? How much money do you think they should send him? A good $20K. Just
listen.
Here you go.
Hey, did you guys see the
Philly wasn't going undefeated?
No,
they weren't.
I had them slipping up actually against Tennessee.
They had too many issues. They weren't consistent enough. I mean, if you look at their games, their offense they're the best second quarter team in the NFL right now. And then go after halftime, and their offense just seems to fall off.
They ran 7 plays in the second quarter of this game.
That's insane. I mean, you look at the time of possession. Washington had the ball for 30 minutes of this game.
No, way more than that. I mean, 30 minutes would be half, but they smashed them in time. At one point, I think it was 33 minutes to 7.
That's ridiculous.
At the end in the third quarter. But I want to say one thing about this game? Did you guys see the post game speech from Riverboat Ron and Terry McLaurin?
I did not. That was.
In the locker room.
Yes.
Where
tugged on the heartstrings.
Yes. Ron Rivera recently lost his mom. And he's been dealing with that, and so he gets in. He goes, "My mom would be so proud of all of y'all."
Yeah, and then and then because Rivera's so emotional, McLaurin takes it over, and he just brings the team together like a true leader. Both halves of the video, Rivera's half and then McLaurin's half, very special.
Yeah,
that's a real team right there.
It shows why they win.
Listen, huge win for the Commanders. Eagles, they didn't look like the Eagles. They weren't ready to play on prime time. They didn't look like it. AJ Brown didn't come in, 1 catch for 7 yards. I mean, he got injured.
Oh, and that interception. That dude, AJ literally sold him.
It wasn't a drop. He handed the football over on a platter to the defenders.
AJ sometimes open, or 1K sometimes open.
1K sometimes. Listen, you can't go clown your old team about wide receivers not being open, not making plays, and then come out on prime time and do the same thing. Can't do it. I'm sorry.
Hey, Nick Westbrook-Ikhine.
To be fair to him, He had one more catch for 7 more yards than the Titans wide receivers did in that game.
That is true.
To be totally fair, he did outgain and out-receive the Titans wide receiver.
Yeah, but did he outgain and out-receive Nick Westbrook-Akina this week? No,
and listen,
did not.
But listen, Eagles no longer undefeated. And, we saw post-game, they were like, oh, maybe that'll take some pressure off of us, blah, 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 whatever. I mean, maybe.
I actually agree with that. I actually agree because I feel like when you're undefeated, it's almost like there's even more pressure on the game.
Oh, yeah.
You make one mistake and it starts to snowball.
Yeah, but now that they're 9-1?
8-1.
Or 8-1. So it's like you lose another game, it's not that big of a deal because you look like across the NFL, almost every other team has at least 2 losses.
You know what's going to be funny? If they do what the Pittsburgh Steelers did back in, 2020? And they lost. They went 11-0 and then proceeded to lose like
4 of the rest 5.
4 of their last 5.
And then they lose,
and then they got destroyed in the first round of the playoffs.
This team is much more talented than that Steelers team was.
Absolutely.
That Steelers team was run on defense, and they just got worn out.
And then also,
that offense was a fraud.
And also, Big Ben was on his last legs. Like, let's be honest. He was not moving.
Second to last year?
It was his second last year, yeah. All right, well, let's move on to Jack's game of the week.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the, yours went to overtime, Joseph, and the Bills-Vikes, but I'm going to go with Cowboys-Packers. It was the best game of the afternoon slate.
Absolutely.
Packers get the win 31-28 over the Cowboys. No one saw it coming as the Packers had lost 5 straight, but Green Bay still owns Dallas, and they get the win in Lambeau Field. The fans absolutely loved this game. You could feel the energy through the TV. Aaron Rodgers maybe has found his answer at the wide receiving corps. Christian Watson had 3 touchdowns. I liked Rodgers. He went back to Watson after Watson made some early mistakes. And, we've not seen that from Rodgers. If a young player makes some mistakes early in the game, I'm not paying you any attention for the remainder of the game. And that's how you get sacked, because you're just unwilling to give a guy attention. But he went back to Christian Watson. And frankly, that's why they were able to make this comeback. And their defense played pretty well as well. So I don't think this is any detriment to Dallas. I think they played a pretty good game. But the Packers defense showed up, and the offense pulled off the comeback. So
the reason
needed win.
I think one of the reasons that the Packers won this game was because they didn't get away from the run. You've seen it in all their 5 losses, their 5 straight losses. They would not run the ball. They wouldn't give Aaron Jones the ball. Aaron Jones also was hurt a couple of those games, but they were reluctant to run. They wanted Rodgers to do it all. In this game, 24 carries, 138 yards, a touchdown for Aaron Jones. Yeah, he was averaging almost 6 yards a carry, and that's exactly what Green Bay needs. And I'm really surprised they did it against Dallas,
who's had a really great run defense.
And you even look farther than that. They gave A.J. Dillon 13 carries, who averaged 5 yards a carry.
Yeah, amongst
the 2 of them, they had over 200 yards rushing. So that's what you want to see. That's what we thought this Green Bay offense was going to be.
Yep.
They just haven't been that. So if they can stick to this this script, I really think they can win a lot of games down the stretch, potentially make a postseason push.
Yeah, and so good for Aaron Rodgers and that Packers. Good for Christian Watson. Bounce back game for him. And then let's look over at Dak Prescott real quick, who the lights got a little too bright for Dak Prescott. Throws 2 interceptions in that game, and that Cowboys offense. And they put up 28, but
I thought they like I said in my original take, I don't think anybody should panic or think Dallas is a worse team. I just think they got on the road against a team that was fighting for a much.
And they're very like that team. They knew that they had to win this game.
Green Bay.
Yeah, Green Bay. Because if Green Bay doesn't win this game, not saying they can't make the playoffs, because there's still a lot. But when you're they would have been 3-7.
It's over.
Yeah, yeah. That's not it. Because then the best you can get to is 10-7, and 10-7 might get you in. Like this year, it might, just because there's been a lot of wonky stuff going on. Yeah. But like you'd have to win you'd basically have to win out.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, look at their offense. Yeah, Dak threw 2 picks. I think one, Schultz ran the wrong route. It came. They mentioned that in the press conference.
Yeah.
But CeeDee Lamb had a career game. That's the best game he's ever had.
The first Cowboys receiver this year to go over 100 yards.
That I would not have guessed that. I would have actually figured Lamb eked his way to 100 yards.
And it's the first time he's hit 100 yards this season. So
yeah, of course, right.
Huge game for Lamb. But the Packers bounce back, get the win over the Cowboys. big win and a bounce back win for Aaron Rodgers. And so with that, we'll move over to Riley, your game of the week in week 10.
Yeah, speaking of the Packers, we'll go with a division matchup in that NFC North. We got the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears. Pretty insane game. It was tied up 10-10 at halftime. And then Chicago goes up 14, 2 touchdowns. And then they just kind of fall apart in the fourth quarter. The defense becomes non-existent. And Detroit scores 21. And the Chicago's only able to score one more touchdown, which would usually be enough to tie it. But Cairo Santos missed the extra point, and it ended up going down to that. That was the difference maker for a 1-point victory for the Detroit Lions. So yeah, pretty insane game. Justin Fields kind of continued his insane hot streak. But yeah, that fall apart from the Chicago defense at the end of the game, and that comeback attempt by the Detroit Lions, pretty exceptional.
Yeah, Detroit is such a weird team, man. I can't tell if they're good or not. Right. Because they look good at times. They look like that offense is great. Their defense has really good moments. Last week against the Packers, and then they have moments where they look just really, really bad. And this game kind of had a little bit of both. Justin Fields ran all over the Lions, but that offense able to bounce back. That defense able to hold on there at the end, and a comeback win for the Lions.
Riley, you want to make that bet with me now? They got another win.
What bet?
Remember you said they get to 10 wins, and I was like, I'll bet you however
they just need 7 more.
You're just obsessed with making
They gotta go.
bets.
They gotta go 7-1 the rest of the way.
Oh man.
Easy. Okay. But this is what I will say. This is what I will say about the Bears on the other side, though, is that as much as it has been disappointing to lose some of these games, at least they know that Justin Fields is their quarterback now. Because I feel like even coming into this season, it was still a little like
4 weeks ago.
Yeah,
it was,
like
it was
literally
a question.
4 weeks ago.
It was
like,
Something-
are we sure? Are we sure about Justin Fields? And
Something
then
clicked in that win
over New England.
Over New England.
Yes,
something clicked then.
Definitely.
And even though they've gotten 2 losses to the Dolphins and now to the Lions since, he's looked great.
30 points in
he's
each.
looked great. They just need a defense. If Chicago doesn't go only defense,
isn't that funny? No, isn't it funny how like 3 years ago they were like, "Oh my gosh, the
We had
Bears
an
defense
offense.
is so good. If we just had a quarterback instead of Mitchell Trubisky," and now they finally have a quarterback,
But they got rid of all their defensive
and
pieces.
they got it's like
Mac and Roquan.
they just can't do it at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, what? It's funny is they had that ugly loss to the Commanders on on Thursday night, and then they had a long week because they played the next Monday and then dominated New England with 33 points scored. Since then, 29 points, 32 points, 30 points. They're 0-3 in those games, but you see the potential.
Yeah,
and they're crescendoing up, if you will.
the offense is there. Just got to get Justin Fields a little more help, and got to get that defense rolling. But maybe next year. Bears, maybe next year.
They will be a team that a lot of people talk about.
Maybe next year.
Going into next year, I mean, you got to look for that year 3 jump from Justin Fields too.
Right.
All right, let's move on to my game of the week and literally the game of the year. I don't think anything can top this, and that is Bills Vikings in the. I think that was a noon game, and this game was absolutely insane. I turned on in the fourth quarter of the Titans game. Because I was the only one that picked the Vikings on here last week. And I was like, I might as well watch them because I saw they had kind of bounced back and it was like a 1-score game. And I get down and I see the 4th and 18. I literally tuned in right before the 4th and 18. And when Kirk Cousins threw that, I did not think Justin Jefferson caught that. I was like, there's no way he caught that.
Dude, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to say it. That might be the
single-handed greatest catch ever.
I'm talking about like skill, like not like obviously there's been bigger catches like in terms of the game, like the helmet catch and like Santonio Holmes in the Super Bowl.
There's been more iconic catches.
like iconic catches, yes. But if you're talking about like difficulty, like to go up one-handed when the defender has 2 hands on the ball, and then the fact that the ball didn't hit the ground after that.
He held it on with one hand the entire time.
Ridiculous.
He palmed it. But anyways, when I saw the replay, I was just in awe. I was like, my jaw dropped. I was like, there's no way that Justin Jefferson just made that. And then you know what he did the rest of the game or the rest of that drive? Just got open. got open, and then he had another catch down at the 2-yard line. It was a perfect throw by Kirk Cousins, but it was like this back shoulder towards the inside.
I saw that too.
Got him down to the 2. They ended up going trying to go for it on 4th and inches on the goal line. Kirk Cousins gets stopped. Ball gets over to the Bills. You're thinking, all right, that's game.
No. But the thing before that was Dalvin Cook with the drop.
Yes.
He would have scored.
That's right.
He said it would have been
then you had Justin Jefferson who caught it on the inch line to put him on the inch line and couldn't get in. Just tapped down just shy. And then Kirk Cousins obviously can't get in. But honestly, on the replay, I thought he got in. But there wasn't a camera angle.
Shoulder was down.
There wasn't
an angle where you could see the ball clearly over the plane before the shoulder hit.
Yeah.
And I think that was the big thing. And every angle where you could see the shoulder hit, it's because the ball, it was in front of his body.
Yeah.
And it was because of the angle. You couldn't see where the ball was. So I'm not mad that they let it stand. And I mean, then
I thought it was a touchdown, but there wasn't enough evidence. But then came Josh Allen's just disastrous rest of the game. First off, he on the goal line. I don't know why they didn't try to throw this ball, but they tried to sneak you. Everybody,
what are you gonna do? You're at the inch-yard line. You're gonna try and throw it.
Throw a little screen and try to get 1 yard. Because at that point, in incompletion, you get another chance. You go. Listen,
bro,
I knew
you got Josh Allen. He's the strongest quarterback in the league.
When they lined up, I knew that ball was going to Josh Allen, and I knew that the Vikings were going to put everything they had into stopping him. Even if he had picked up that ball and he hadn't fumbled it off the snap, he was not getting out of the end zone. He was going to get a safety.
That would have
still been leading. It would have still been leading.
Yeah, but it would have given the Vikings a ball back, and all they would have needed is a field goal to win it.
Yeah, but they would.
I'm not saying they wanted to get a safety, but what I'm saying,
40 seconds left, and the Vikings converted 2 4th downs on that drive.
All I'm saying is that the Bills, as soon as that happened, they lost the game. I don't care if it went to overtime. They lost the game as soon as
I don't know if I can say that because they could have won it overtime.
Yeah,
but they didn't.
Yeah, they just lost a coin flip. That's really all it was.
No,
Josh Allen threw the ball away. He threw that interception in the end zone. Straight. It was an awful throw.
If they scored
that's what I'm saying.
First off,
and they were in field goal range.
Listen, no. First off, Josh Allen used his legs and drove them all the way down the field almost into the red zone, and then he it was a 2nd and 10 from the 35-yard line, and he just forces a ball over the middle of the end zone where he had 2 receivers and 3 Vikings.
Yeah, Patrick Peterson.
One of the receivers, Gabe Davis, wasn't looking. He was literally facing the back of the end zone. Your other receiver, which I think was one of their tight ends, was draped all over by a Viking. I don't know who the hell Josh Allen was trying to throw that to, but it was
Patrick Peterson.
Also,
apparently,
hey. Also, we're forgetting to mention something. When the Bills drove down with 30 seconds left to send it to overtime to kick that field goal after the Vikes scored the tud, that should have never happened because the Gabe Davis 30-yard catch was not a catch.
Not a catch.
Oh yeah, it wasn't a catch.
They snapped the ball, ran with Singletary really fast. So the game shouldn't have even gotten to overtime. The Vikings should have won in regulation.
Again, what I'm saying, as soon as Josh Allen fumbled the ball right there, that the game was over. There was no way the Bills are winning that game.
Yeah, I think obviously Allen makes the mistake, but they could have definitely scored a touchdown.
Yeah, there was a way for them to win the game. They didn't. I do think that was the turning point. I'll agree with you on that. But the Bills definitely still could have won the game.
Right.
But
they just had to make better plays.
You just knew.
The Vikings
Allen
deserve
made far
to win.
too many mistakes.
The Vikings deserve to win that game, no question.
Hey,
though.
Since 2019, I don't know the exact stat off the top of my head, but in 2-score games, did you see this? In 2-score games, the Bills since last 3 years, they're 20-2 or something like that. They dominate in 2-score games, but in 1-score games, they're 2-9. So they lose close games.
They're not built for it, apparently.
Did you see that stat about Josh Allen in the red zone? So over the last 2 years, so 2020 and 2021, he's got 1,200 yards, 18 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, and a 90% conversion rate in the red zone. And this year, he's got 190 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions, and a 19% conversion rate.
He doesn't have any passing touchdowns in the red zone?
I don't think so.
That's ridiculous.
They just win by the long ball.
That's
heave it up to Gabe Davis, heave it up to Stephon Diggs, or run it in from the goal line with Josh Allen,
or run along Josh Allen touchdown.
Yeah,
right.
so they're not a great red zone. They're not a great red zone team. And Josh Allen has not been a great red zone quarterback. And I told you this. I think he threw himself out of the MVP race in this game.
We'll get to
not
that.
completely out of the race, but yeah, we'll get to that
He
later.
threw himself out of out of second place.
Who was second? Or
Maybe
Mahomes
top
was first,
three.
right?
He threw him out of the top three. Threw himself out of the top three.
I mean,
Because and Tua is going to be top three. It's going to be Mahomes, Hurts, and Tua.
Okay.
That's your top three.
okay. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Anyways,
I'm not mad at that.
those are our games of the week. Bills, Vikings, Cowboys, Packers, Commanders, Eagles, and Lions, Bears. The rest of the scores for week 10, Falcons dropped the game to the Panthers on Thursday night, 25-15.
Beautiful game right there.
In Germany, the first game in Germany, Buccaneers won it 21-16.
Oh, wait.
Can we
we
pause
pl-
for a second? And
Can we talk
this?
about the Tom Brady?
Yeah,
The Tom.
There's like 2 to 3 things to talk about with this game. So yeah,
Tom-
let's start with that.
Tom Brady. So first off, the reason they ran this play is because they set it up earlier with a Leonard Fournette Wildcat, and Tom Brady was completely unguarded.
Right.
No one guarded him. So they ran it a couple plays later, or a couple. I guess there's a couple
Same
drives. Same drive.
No,
a couple
same drive.
plays later,
Yeah.
and Leonard Fournette throws it up to Tom Brady, who slips, busts his ass. Tariq Woolen goes up, easy pick, and then Tom Brady trips Tariq Woolen in order to tackle
A
him.
little purposefully. Yeah.
Little purposefully.
He extended
Not
the
even
play.
a little purposely. Come on.
It
I
was
mean, it
purposely.
wasn't like super egregious, but he did extend it.
This is what I'm gonna say, right? And I hope that every single NFL offensive coordinator is listening to this. If you have a quarterback that was born in the 80s, you should
What
not
about the
be throwing
70s?
he was born in the 70s?
Yeah.
Jesus.
77, I think.
If you have
His point still stands.
like he's 45.
I know, I was just being
Why is he
Oh.
running routes?
That's
Like what is
awful.
the point?
And
That's awful.
I think
Yeah.
it's even funnier that he was being guarded by one of the better corners in the
That's a
NFL right
rookie.
now.
Yeah.
Hey,
Man, that's bad.
Hey,
That's so bad.
No, Tariq, like, was he even born when Tom Brady started playing?
No,
Probably
I
not.
doubt
No.
it.
no, not a
I
chance.
doubt it.
And now you have him guarding
Tom-
Tom
just
Brady.
Tom
You
Brady-
thought that was going to work out well?
Tom Brady
maybe
would
it was,
Tom Brady would have been in his 20s and in his
So Brady
early
started
20s.
in 2000, right? Yeah, basically the same time.
That's
Yeah, still.
that
ridiculous.
is ridiculous.
I think it would have been a pick even if Brady doesn't follow.
But
yeah, because Tom Brady's going to go up and moss Tariq
hey,
Woolen.
he tweeted he was going to.
Also, Leonard Fournette tweeted
It was just like a little.
throwing.
It was just like a little, like a rinky dink ball. Like that was never gonna go
Oh, it
anywhere.
was terrible.
Yeah.
It was just this little.
it wasn't
It was
a
just
bad
no. It
throw.
was just this little
No, it was pretty
floater.
bad.
If it's a 50-50
Like,
ball, Tariq
for-
Woolen's
for
coming down
Leonard
with that.
Well, the
Fournette,
thing
it
is
wasn't a terrible
Fournette
ball.
rolled right and throwed across the field. Brady was I don't know if he would have been. I don't know if Woolen I think Woolen would have caught up to it anyway. But if he'd actually led Brady, it could have been a touchdown because Brady had a little
Timeout. Did you just say if he had actually led Brady like you?
Nah.
I'm just saying he
Wasn't gonna
underthrew him.
happen.
And also, I wanted to say Leonard Fournette hilariously posted the picture of him in motion throwing the ball, and the caption was QB2.
All right,
Okay,
so-
no,
Yeah,
no,
that's
funny.
crazy.
No, that's funny.
He has
He's-
one
he's-
pass attempt for an
He's
interception.
accepting it.
Yeah.
Oh for 1 in an interception.
But-
QB2.
If you let me have a little thing, because Joseph and I had a little Twitter spat last night, and because
Oh,
You know
I
what?
saw this. I was sitting there with my popcorn
Listen,
last night.
he's trying
I was
to-
like, oh.
he's trying to.
Listen, it was over the angry run segment. And listen, I'm not saying Rashad White's run was not, or his stiff arm on, who was it? On,
Quandre Diggs.
Quandre Diggs. I'm not saying it wasn't an angry run. It was a great stiff arm.
He sent Quandre back to the USA.
But Brian Robinson dragged the entire Eagles defensive line like 10 yards. And then he did it again on the next run into the end zone.
Look, okay, I'm not trying to discredit Brian Robinson's game. Like I told you in
I'm not saying it again. I'm saying those
B-Rob
two
had-
specific runs.
B-Rob had a better overall game, I think, than Rashad White did. White just had a late surge in the game. But if the award of Angry Runs by Kyle Brand on Good Morning Football is about a singular run, so I knew that Rashad White's run, it was so flashy with the stiff arm, just like King Henry with Josh Norman. It wasn't to that effect, obviously, but the stiff arm was just so mean and angry, which is the spirit of the award. So I want to give a shout out to Rashad White, who had the angry run of the week, Joseph.
I'm still picking Brian Robinson. He dragged an entire defense with him 10 yards.
Yeah, props to B-Rob on Monday night, and props to Rashad White as well. But how about, just real quick, how about the scene in Germany, man?
Oh, dude, those
fans
No, that was
staying
awesome.
after the game
Yeah, it was cool.
to sing and just celebrate American football, even when the game was over. It was so special.
They
So-
just stayed and
Yes.
started rushing the field.
No, this
It was
no
funny.
no
It
that
was-
is funny.
it
No,
was
this
wild.
is my real question though. What do you guys think they can do to like capitalize on that? Just like to
Okay,
think about it.
so the
I
whole
mean, I don't know if you
what-
can do much more than
what
going international.
what John Gruden or not John Gruden, Roger
now.
Goodell, what he
They do look similar.
I know what Roger Goodell has said he wants teams in Europe. He wants like home teams in Europe.
The
where
only problem
they're-
is though is that they would have to the travel will be so horrible. This is what I was thinking, right? Like, I don't know if they have enough to have like a whole league over there, but like even if it's only in like a couple cities, like you can have multiple teams in like the same places play against each other and make it like a developmental league or something.
Like
I
an
don't
Yeah.
know.
XFL type of
Like,
thing.
Yeah.
like basketball does.
Yeah, like something like
but
that.
The thing with that is, where are you gonna get the players for it?
Right.
Dude, you don't think that there's like those 7th round picks that never pan out when it go over there for like $200K?
And also, you're asking the NFL to take away from its main product. They're just
No,
never
no, no.
gonna
I
do
think
that.
Bryson's onto something.
No, like I agree. It's a great idea. I'm just
Yeah.
saying the NFL is never going to sponsor a developmental league because
Or-
they want. Roger Goodell's already said this. He wants the NFL to be a 365-day a year product. That's what he
I have
wants.
a great idea then. Why don't they summer development league?
Because he
overseas.
doesn't want
Easy.
he wants the product to be those 32 teams. He wants it to be the league that
well,
it
you
is
can't ask
now.
people to play football year round. You just can't.
Yeah, I know, but
That's why
it's
you-
not.
yeah,
It's
that is
not
true.
like making games. It's like well, that's why they added the 18th. They added the 18th week. It already pushed the Super Bowl back a whole 10 days.
Mhm.
And like the Super Bowl is way later. It's like February 12th, I think, this year instead of the first week of
Sunday,
February
right.
like it usually is. Then you have the draft. You have the combine. You have the draft. And you have all of that. And that's what Roger Goodell wants. He wants a 365-day league or where it's something about the NFL. But Roger Goodell also doesn't want another league, like even if it's a developmental league that's sponsored by the NFL, to take away from the main product.
Like I understand
Well, I
what
don't
you're
see a
saying, but
solution then.
no, because what I'm saying, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a year-round developmental league. Maybe it's just like, oh, we're gonna take some guys that are trying to find a roster spot somewhere,
Yeah.
and we're gonna play 4 or 5 games in like March or something.
Yeah,
Or
and
like
there's so much
Something
talent.
like yeah, and like you can find guys because there's tons of guys that come out of college every year that don't end up going to the NFL
that are good.
that
It's
are
a
good
cool-
enough to make like I'm not saying they need to go play 16 games in
Yeah.
Germany every year, even if just like a couple games. I don't know.
Like
I
a
just feel,
like a 5-game.
A similar product to like an
summer.
XFL.
yeah.
I mean, like it's a great idea,
Yeah.
and that's why the XFL and the what was it, the AAF?
Yeah.
That's why those got so much
The
support
USFL,
from.
right?
That's why they got so
Right.
much fan support, is because that's what fans want. But the NFL will never support it because it's a greedy business.
I get it. No, I definitely
it's
get
a
it.
greedy business.
But I
And-
think the number one thing we can take away from this whole conversation, though, is that it's good to see that there is enough of fan support over there to even like think
Yeah.
about it.
Well, Brady said this felt like a Super Bowl all week. You know how
Yeah.
Super Bowl week has that feel? He said all week in Germany it felt like that. And then
Because it's
today
the
it had
only
that
game they get to
atmosphere.
go see, and then you got to
And
keep
it's
in
the first.
mind,
It's the
And the
first time
stadiums
it's
are
ever.
bigger,
It's
too.
Yeah.
the first time it's ever been in Germany.
and you
but-
got to keep in mind if you're a football fan in Germany, like I mean, luckily because of how the NFL works, it's not super late. But if you play like a prime time game, like
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football is at like 4 a.m. over there, so
Right.
they do not get to see all the games
Yeah.
even on TV a lot of times. So
Anyways,
they actually get to go. Like I love seeing that. I thought it was awesome to see.
great scene in Germany as the Bucks take down the Seahawks 21-16. Some other games: Titans take down the Broncos at home to get back on track. They are 17, or they win that game 17-10. Russell Wilson did not look good, and the Titans defense, I still think it's the best defense in the league, based off just what they're able to do, even with their backups.
Yeah. I mean, Broncos are bad, but props to the Titans for being able to.
Chiefs take
Yeah,
down the
dumb.
Jags easily 27-17. Jags started to mount a comeback, but not enough to take down the Chiefs. Dolphins destroy the Browns 39-17. So glad I went with my gut on that and didn't pick the Browns like you guys were trying to pressure me into.
Yeah.
Giants take down the Texans 24-16. Steelers take down the Saints, surprisingly,
You know why?
20-10.
Why? I'm gonna see if y'all can answer this. Why the Steelers win this game?
Kenny Pickett?
TJ Watt was back.
Bam.
No. Yeah.
Oh, my preseason defensive
Makes
player
their
of the year
defense
pack.
like
Welcome
5
back,
times
baby.
Yeah.
better, and he's an instant leader. I didn't know TJ Watt was going to come back this week, but I would have picked Pittsburgh.
All right. And Colts, surprisingly, Jeff Saturday gets his first win over the god-awful Raiders.
We'll save.
It's
Hey, we
so
gotta save
funny.
discussion on that. 'cause
God-awful
we'll talk about it in a
Raiders
second.
as they win at 25-20. Cardinals take down the Rams 27-17. Niners take down the Chargers 22-16. And on Monday Night Football, Commanders 32-21 over the Eagles. And with that, I ask you winners and losers of Week 10. I don't know if you guys mind if I start.
Go ahead.
Because there are a couple games that influence my winner, and that is backup quarterbacks. And Taylor Heineke and Colt McCoy for the Cardinals, both getting huge wins this year. And you know what? I'm going to call him a backup quarterback because he got benched. Matt Ryan comes back and beats the Raiders.
Wait, I thought Matt Ryan was out for the season. No, I'm kidding.
I thought he was too, but apparently,
Yeah, shoulder injury.
according to Jeff Saturday, Sam Ellinger was his starting quarterback when he got hired. That didn't last but 2 days. Matt Ryan was taking snaps under their starting
We all
center.
knew Jeff was going to make the move.
I mean, you had
Yeah.
to. You had to.
Played.
But credit backup quarterbacks this week. Mostly just those three. I'm calling Matt Ryan a backup quarterback.
Oh, and
because he
also,
got benched.
like, as somebody who I used to love Colt McCoy when he was at Texas, like back in the day.
oh yeah,
I was a huge Colt McCoy fan. So it's just cool to see that all these years later, not only is he still in the league, even though I feel like has he ever been a starter? Like
No.
Well, with the
I mean,
Browns, at
yeah,
the
like
beginning.
at the beginning,
That's
but like
it.
like since he was a starter with those god awful Browns teams, like he has
No.
just been back up. But I feel like every year he starts like 1 or 2 games and looks okay,
yeah.
and he's cashing that check. So shout out to Colt McCoy.
Shout out backup QBs.
Get
My
your money.
loser of the week goes to the Philadelphia offense. Just 3 really bad turnovers. Jalen Hurts throws what? 1 interception that game.
That wasn't his fault. That was on AJ.
AJ Brown basically not being able to use his hands and just handing the ball over to the Washington defense.
No, because when I saw it like in real time, I was kind of like, what even just happened?
They
Like it
also-
was so hard to see.
They also had 3 fumbles from Dallas Goedert, Quez Watkins, and Devonta Smith.
And Dallas Goedert's now hurt too.
And Dallas Goedert is hurt, and they missed a bad face mask on that one. I will give the Eagles some credit on there. It was a really bad face mask that they missed on Goddard. He ends up fumbling. Washington gets the ball back. They end up scoring and adding onto their lead. The Devonta Smith one at the end of the game kind of was a backbreaker as they were trying to drive and maybe take that lead back. And Devonta Smith with a huge catch gets stripped over the middle.
Just they just shot themselves in the foot.
Was that Quez Watkins? I could have sworn Devonta. That was Devonta
Smith
Smith.
is 6, right? And Quez is 16, so you made it.
But
And they
anyways,
look very similar. so-
anyways, the Eagles, they coming into this game, they had 3 turnovers in their past 8 games, 4 turnovers tonight or last night, and that is the reason they lost this game. So they are my loser for Week 10.
Can we add a quick loser based off of your winners?
Who?
Since we're not going to talk about it, but Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Because he was 1-6 against the Rams in his career, and then Colt McCoy comes out and wins.
Yeah, that's
Shout
wild.
out backup quarterback.
I
I
don't
mean,
know,
we also
man.
have to say that the Rams also just aren't as good as they have been in
Yeah.
the last
I
couple
know,
years.
but
I still see what you're saying.
I'm worried about Kyler Murray as a franchise guy,
No.
and he got paid.
Yeah, it's starting to look a little
He looks
iffy.
so bad this year.
It's starting to look very iffy for Arizona.
All right.
Jack, winners and losers this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with winners. It's kind of a duo like with Aaron Rodgers and Christian Watson. I think Rodgers is a winner because I feel like he has found maybe his top target. Lazard is great, but I think he's good in situations. Christian Watson could be transcendent for that Green Bay offense moving forward. He was an elite prospect, so hopefully he can pan out and avoid the injury bug that has been killing him all season. But yeah, this Green Bay offense found another weapon for Aaron Rodgers, much needed weapon. They got the win, so 3 touchdowns for Christian Watson as a rookie. Hopefully we can see that relationship build. My loser is the Las Vegas Raiders, one of the biggest losers of the entire season. But this week especially, man, because if you just think about it, you had a sexy hire in the offseason. You got Josh McDaniels after you just made the playoffs. You bring in Devontae Adams and some defensive pieces. You're looking good. A lot of people have you as a playoff team. You disappoint first couple months of the season. And then the Colts fire their coach, then they hire a guy from ESPN who doesn't have any coaching experience who said,
and he
"You look horrible."
outcoaches you.
He said, "Hey," he said, "Hey." Last Sunday, he said on Twitter, "Hey, Raiders look horrible. Raiders look awful." And then he's like, "Oh man, I gotta play the Raiders Sunday." Man, you would think that a fire just lit up all the Raiders' tails just leading up to this game, right? Like,
Nope.
this coach said, "We look horrible. We got to win this game," and you don't. You lose to the Colts, who just had been absolute poverty in the last couple weeks.
Okay, as bad as he's been, the reason the Colts won this game is because Jeff Saturday made the switch back to Matt Ryan. If Sam Ellinger was in this game,
Focused on running the ball.
It was all Raiders. But the fact that Jeff Saturday, just ran the offense how it's built instead of whatever the hell Frank Reich's been doing. Plus, they had a first-time signal caller on offense. Forgot the dude's name. It's like Pat something.
Pat
anyway,
McAfee?
No, it's not Pat.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Credit to the Colts.
And they won on the road. Like, Raiders lost at home.
Credit to the Colts, but the Raiders are bad. Bryson,
wait, where did the Raiders go from here? Like, what?
Well, they already announced that they're going to be looking at DJ Stroud.
I was about to say they need they need to go is the draft,
and they're gonna move away from Derek Carr.
This is so bad on so many levels.
Really bad because Derek Carr looked like a really good franchise guy last year.
Hey, but don't worry, they might get the first overall pick.
Bryson, winners and losers of the week.
My winner of the week is Tua Tagovailoa again. Just because you look at the way that he played this weekend, and I feel like just the way he's played all season has been awesome. Another game, he had 285 and 3 touchdowns. Another thing, in his last 17 games, he's 15-2 as a starter in his last 17 games.
Crazy.
Wow.
One of those losses.
The Tennessee Titans.
Right. Both of them?
No, one of them.
Okay, I was like, oh my God.
It's ridiculous because you think about it this year, the games they've lost were games where he wasn't playing.
That's
wait, they have 3 losses, right?
The Bengals game, he didn't play the whole game.
The stat,
it's not counted that.
The stat is games that he started and finished.
Yeah,
started and finished. Yeah, because he left the game at halftime.
Yeah, but listen, Tua, I didn't think he would win the MVP because he missed 2 weeks, and I honestly didn't think, or I think that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are what's making Tua.
Yeah, but I still do.
Yeah. I still do, but he's getting it done. And thanks to another quarterback that I won't name yet, Tua's name is definitely now in the top 3.
Well, since you just said it,
you already said it earlier.
Oh yeah,
Josh Allen.
Since you set it up for me very easily too, Josh Allen is going to be my loser of the week. But it's not just Josh Allen. I'll say Josh Allen and just the Buffalo Bills in general, because 2 weeks ago they were number 1 in the AFC. And I'm looking at it now. They're now 3rd in their division.
Yeah.
You lose division games, that'll happen to you.
It's like they like in 2 weeks they went from 1st in the AFC to 3rd in their division.
That's crazy.
6 seed.
So that is absolutely ridiculous. So Bills Mafia, I think the Bills are still going to be a good team. They're going to go to the playoffs, all that.
Yeah.
But Bills Mafia should be sweating a little bit right now.
Just a little bit.
I'm not saying. The Dolphins are looking really good, and I think the Dolphins could win that division now, very easily.
The path is there.
Yeah,
Yes.
they could very easily win that division now. Now, 2 weeks ago, I thought even if the Dolphins played their best, it was going to be hard. But they dropped these last 2 games.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I don't know.
Riley, what's your winners and losers of the week?
All right, so for winner, I'm gonna stick with the hometown Tennessee Titans, and we really got onto them last week for their complete and utter lack of production in the wide receiver core. But this week they found a receiver who stepped up to the plate. He probably took the words from AJ Brown and all the chirping, nobody could get open, nobody. And he got open. Okay. This person averaged almost 4.5 yards of separation on each route he ran.
That's ridiculous.
And that player is Mr. Nick Westbrook-Akina. 5 receptions, 119 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Gosh. And this is such a far cry from what we've seen from him last couple of weeks. And he's a guy that can get open downfield sometimes.
To be fair,
every once in a while you'll see him break one downfield and they'll connect downfield.
To be fair, one of these was on a flea flicker that the Broncos just played
They
horribly.
they bit on that flea flicker.
That
bad.
They
and
ran into
and
each
they
other,
ran
right?
into each other and left Westbrook Aquino wide open. But I mean, he still did the rest with his legs cut
Right.
inside, able to outrun that defense. But
Right.
big game from Nick Westbrook Aquino, 2 touchdowns. Ryan Tannehill returns to the Titans and their passing game. Did y'all notice? While we're talking about the Titans real quick, did y'all notice that in that 2-minute drive when Todd Downing was not calling the plays, that the offense looked surgical? He picked apart the Broncos, who have a really good defense and a really good secondary, even without Justin Simmons. They looked. I mean, they looked like a competent offense. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill, big addition back. But NWI, great pick for a winner of the week. Who's your loser?
Loser, I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey fantasy owners specifically. Christian McCaffrey still had a decent game, right? 14 touches, 38 yards, and a touchdown on the ground, and 4 catches for 39 yards through the air.
Wait, how many fantasy points did he have?
I don't know.
Like 15 probably.
Yeah, not terrible.
I don't buy
but I'm talking about going forward because Elijah Mitchell out-carried him on the ground, 18 carries for 89 yards, outgained him in scrimmage yards, had 88 yards scrimmage because he actually lost a yard.
He had
on one
17.
catch.
He had 17 points. I would take that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad, but
I
going
would take
forward,
that.
Shanahan made it very clear that they're going to be splitting carries in that backfield.
Yeah, that kind of
And
sucks.
yeah, it
But-
takes away from what made him, or it doesn't completely
But
take away, but
look-
it does remove a little bit of what made him so efficient at Carolina's because he was getting every touch.
Well, the thing about McCaffrey, if we're gonna go fantasy, he's gonna get the bulk of the snaps inside the 10.
Probably,
and he's
yeah.
gonna catch a lot of passes.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. It's not end of the
He's
day,
still
but
such a vital part of that offense.
yeah, it's not end days, but it's definitely
is-
not
You
as
know
good
what
as it
I would
was
almost
2
say
weeks
is
ago.
the
Good loser
bigger
this
loser
week.
in that offense is Debo Samuel
Yes.
because Elijah
Oh my
Mitchell's back
God.
and Mitchell and McCaffrey are going to out carry Samuel. It seems Jimmy G has a better rapport with Ayuk right now. And then if you throw in Kittle, McCaffrey getting catches,
Yeah, it sucks.
It's
I-
gonna-
as a Debo owner in fantasy, it
Been a-
sucks.
As an
Um,
IUC owner, it's great.
looking dim.
With that, we're going to move on to our dogs of the week. And we've talked about a lot of these guys. I'll start off. It's going to be the man, the myth, the legend,
The Old Dominion.
Taylor
Alum.
Heineke for taking down the Eagles. And it's not like he had a flashy game. I
Oh
think-
no, he was doing his best Jimmy Garoppolo
I mean,
impersonation.
he did not have a flashy game. He found a wide open Terry McLaurin, who shout out Terry McLaurin for how dominant he was in this game. 8 receptions for 128 yards. But Taylor
Slay
Heineke
had no answer.
only had 211 yards passing, 17 for
touchdowns and an
29,
interception,
touchdowns
right?
And an interception. He was sacked 3 times for 33 yards. But on those 3 sacks, there's one sack in particular that was probably one of the smartest football plays you will see this season, and that is Taylor Heineke. He had 2 really good plays. Before I talk about the one that won them the game, first off, the snap that went over his head, and he somehow ran back, picked
That
it
was a
up,
great play.
and was able to throw it towards a receiver out of bounds where it wasn't intentional grounding when it was like 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Incredible awareness from Taylor Heineke. Like that impressed me alone. But the play that won them the game, basically it was a broken play. It was a pass play that he had nobody open. Protection broke down. He was probably 8-9 yards into the backfield, and then he just took a knee.
Yeah, and they were trying to get a first down to win the game, right?
And yeah, they needed a first down to basically win it, but took a knee, and with defenders probably 4 yards away from him, Brandon Graham comes around the edge with Taylor Heineke already on a knee, and just I didn't want to hard hit, but he tackled him while he was already on the ground, which you can't do that to a quarterback in this league. Baited Brandon Graham right into a penalty. Really stupid mistake from Brandon Graham there. Taylor Heineke sees the flag, comes out, gets pumped me up. And listen, so many people made fun of him for celebrating like that, but I would too if I just defeated the only undefeated team in this
And
league.
also, you got to keep in mind, like, not only are we talking about it, we're talking about his like livelihood.
Oh yeah.
Because
oh, yeah.
I mean, we know obviously Carson Wentz is out, but I would argue that Taylor Heineke should keep starting
the
even if
team
Carson
rallies
Wentz.
around Taylor so
Yeah,
much
like,
better.
They don't.
Even if Carson Wentz is fully healthy, I think Taylor Heineke should be the starter going
But
forward.
Taylor Heineke, my dog of the week for that play and that play alone.
Well, he also flopped on that play. You didn't mention that.
Hey, look, you got to do what you got to do to win.
I said he
You
baited,
got to
he
do what you got
baited
to do to
Brandon
win.
Graham. He baited him, and he got it. He won it.
Also, the post game scene, with Taylor. He pulled the Kirk Cousins, had the chains on.
Oh, yeah, no,
But
that was awesome.
He had the Bush Light in the trash can cooler. Y'all see
he
that?
Had two, he was double fisting. He was
Yeah.
double fisting, and he had all the chains on, the sunglasses, and he was just standing up. Chase Young was sitting there.
Hey, I can't wait to see the Jordans he buys.
Oh, the Eagle Green.
Mm,
Yeah, it's gonna be nice.
I want to see it.
Bryson, who was your dog of the week?
Well, going off what Riley said earlier, it's Nick Westbrook-Akina. Because you look at last week, no Titans wide receivers get any yards at all. And then
No
he
catches.
comes out, no catches, no yards, nothing. And then Nick Westbrook-Akina comes out and treats the Broncos secondary like they're all his sons.
Yeah.
For the entire game.
Great pick.
And especially on the flea flicker when he caught it and then he made, I don't know who he made miss, but he juked somebody out.
Yeah, he cut back inside.
And it was
yeah.
nasty. And I was like, okay. Okay, Nick Westbrook-Akina has to be the dog of the week because he heard all of that all week.
Yeah.
And also, I do have to say, the Shaq meme. I'm sorry, I wasn't really familiar with your game. Didn't know that you could play like this, Nick Westbrook-Akina. But you did. You proved everybody wrong. Dog of the week for sure. Shout out Nick Westbrook-Akina for a great
Absolutely.
performance.
Riley, who's your dog of the week for week 10?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a guy who lost the game, Justin Fields. I still think that Justin Fields put up what I needed to see from him.
What was it, like 120 yards on the ground?
147 yards
Oh, I
on
wasn't
13
even
carries
close.
on the ground, 2 touchdowns,
Jeez.
and then led his team in rushing. And
Averaged
then
11 yards a carry. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
That one play he had, the long touchdown run.
mhm,
God,
yeah,
so fast. That's
Yeah.
Lamar stuff.
he's just flying down the field. It's like, how do you catch him? If you haven't, you need to watch the play because he's the fastest I've ever seen anybody run on a football field.
Yeah, I think he
Crazy.
came out like he was the second fastest quarterback since Marcus Mariota
on that
run against Jacksonville.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
The 87 yarder?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah.
Second fastest quarterback since that. And I think Marcus Mariota topped out at I think it was 23.5. Justin Fields was at 23.3, something like that. I mean, it
Yes.
was barely. But
And keep in mind,
he got up there.
he hit that speed while also weaving in and
Yeah.
out of players.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. And then he also added 167 yards on 12 completions through the air, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick six. It was ugly, but I mean, he's getting absolutely battered every play.
Yeah.
His offensive line is paper. And on that pick six, I mean, he literally caught the snap, and there were 2 defenders hitting him from his left side. So he rolled out, tried to throw one up. It got picked. It was ugly.
Jeff Okuda.
but- yeah, Jeff
Ohio
Okuda.
State,
I love Jeff
Ohio
Okuda.
State by Ohio State crime right there.
And Riley, the thing that's so impressive about these long runs by Fields is because when they happen, it's because they're not designed runs or anything. He's getting so much pressure that you're like, oh God, he's about to get sacked on 3rd and long.
Yes,
and then he's like,
exactly.
"Meow."
And it's a
escaped
touchdown.
like 2
Right out.
sacks.
on a play that looked like it was going to be a tackle for loss, a sack.
Yes.
Gets 11 yards.
It becomes a first down, a touchdown. You never know with Justin
Yeah.
Fields, and that's why I'm so excited to see where he goes in the future and how he improves as the team improves around him, especially as that offensive line improves. Gosh, Justin Fields is gonna be an issue.
And our final dog of the week for Jack.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the guy who made the catch we talked about earlier. Justin Jefferson had a
Oh,
Heck.
yes.
Yeah,
heck of a day. I feel like this is probably the clear answer for this week. Just, absolutely tremendous performance. 10 catches, 193 yards, and a touchdown. Bryson, I want to go back to what you said about the behind-the-back catch. The Viking, you talked about the significance of the catch, right?
Yeah.
About how obviously this wasn't a Super Bowl or anything like that. It's not Santonio Holmes. It's not anything like that. But it was 4th and 18 from their own 26, I believe.
Game on the
Oh,
line.
yeah.
Game on the line.
Oh, it
minute-
says iconic as it can get for a regular season
game.
catch. Yes.
Exactly. And yeah, it was 1:58 left from their own 27, 4th and 18. If they don't make this play, the game is probably over.
Yeah,
this allowed them to eventually win the game. This was the first little, block. So what a catch by Justin Jefferson. He made so many other catches that were overshadowed by this one too. Like I said, 10 catches on the game. Dog of the week.
Is Justin Jefferson the best wide receiver in the league right now?
Hands down. I'm not even hesitating.
I'm gonna say no.
Why?
Who's your top wide receiver? Just real quick.
Tyreek.
No. Jefferson's so
Okay.
much-
Tua is awful, and he's making Tyreek
No.
and he's
Tyreek is
Tyreek is making
but
Tua look
let's
like a
be honest,
god.
Tyreek catches everything with his body.
everything.
Okay.
and he doesn't.
No, this is what I'll say. This is what I'll say.
have to catch it with his hands
Give me
because he's
Jefferson 1,000%.
I think Justin Jefferson is the best. Like, this is what I'll say.
mechanically.
Yeah, if you're talking about it's fourth down and I need to throw the ball to somebody, anybody in the league, like on a play like that, Tyreek Hill is not making that catch
Never.
that Justin Jefferson
Never.
makes.
No, because
can't
he
catch with his
he
hands.
wouldn't be in that position. He'd be 20 yards downfield past him.
I don't care. Dude, Justin Jefferson's a better receiver.
Maybe he's a better receiver, but I'd rather have
I think
Tyreek
he's
Hill
more
on my team.
versatile.
Yes.
I like the route trees and stuff that he can run. Like
Sure,
Justin
but what's the
Tyreek-
point in running anything other than a slant or a go route with Tyreek Hill? He's gonna get open.
How does that make you the best wide receiver, though? Maybe
Because he can
Well,
catch
I will
everything. He's
say-
wide open.
like I'm not saying that there's like
feels a
some
flat take.
there's not like some ocean between them. Like they're both really great wide receivers.
Tyreek is having a
Their
better
strengths
year.
are ridiculous. Their strengths are totally different.
Tyreek is having a way better year, but that also because the Dolphins have zero run game. And
That's true.
Tua has to throw it like 50 times a game in order to do it. And he's only got two options.
They have a run
Let's
game
be
now.
honest.
Yeah,
He's-
they definitely have a run game.
Well, now, but Tyreek already accumulated 1,100 yards before.
They're gonna. And
Before
the
they
thing is,
got
they're
a
gonna
run
keep
game.
doing it though because it's working.
Well, yeah, you're obviously going to keep doing.
Man,
what's
it's just
working.
gadgety bullcrap with Tyreek Hill. I'm not saying he's bad, but Justin Jefferson is a
If we're
much better
talking about
receiver in my eyes.
skill, yes, he's
That's
better.
okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
okay.
what we
That's
are
what we're
talking
talking
about.
If we're talking about who I'd rather have on my team, Tyreek Hill,
why would
Okay.
you have the lesser skilled
No.
receiver?
because he's open.
This is
All
what
right,
I'll give you.
all
I'll give you this.
right.
Tyreek Hill is
Physical
having a
disease.
better season. Tyreek Hill is
It's not
having a
just
better
this
season.
It's not just this season though. That's not just what I'm basing this off.
Dude, Justin
That's
Jefferson.
back-to-back 1,400-yard seasons to start his career.
Okay,
Justin Jefferson's the better wide receiver. That's all you
Yeah.
gotta say.
And I'm
That's all
saying-
you
I
gotta
don't
say.
Yes,
even
he
think
is
Tyreek
the
would
better
be the
wide
one to
receiver.
make the argument with.
he's the better wide receiver. I would
I was
rather have
thinking
Tyreek
stuff-
Hill.
I was thinking stuff on this.
Yeah,
to be
I would
honest.
entertain a Stephon Diggs argument more than I would a Tyreek Hill. I would entertain still a Devontae Adams argument more than I would a Tyreek
What about
Hill.
Jamar Chase?
I wouldn't. Not right now.
He's been hurt, but
Because Chase's strengths almost kind of align with Hill's being able to burn a D, and I don't think Chase's hands are much better than Hill's by any stretch. So I would honestly take Hill right now. And then the other one, even though he's 30 years old, is still a hop. Like he just finds ways to get open. And if we forgot about Cooper Kupp, like there's a lot of great receivers.
Hey, speaking of Cooper Kupp, we'll talk about it when we get to the
Yeah,
Rams.
he got
Out
injured.
or on IR for the next 4 to
Yeah,
6
it's
weeks.
really unfortunate.
Ankle surgery.
very unfortunate
Nice
for
getting
one
what
of my
Seth Hill
fantasy
had.
teams as well.
Yeah, the tightrope ankle
Yeah.
surgery. Yeah.
Oh, he's getting the Cedric Tillman surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
shit.
All right.
Jefferson, dog of the week.
So, dog of the week, best wide receiver in the NFL.
Thank you, Jefferson.
He is the man. All right, we're running low on time, so let's go ahead and jump into week 11. Before we go in through our pick'ems, let's take a look at our pick'em records.
Oh, can we not?
In last place,
I don't know why you're
Hey,
complaining.
come on now.
in last place with a record of 77, 64, and 1, that being the Colts tie, has won 0 weeks outright, lost 8 weeks, and is tied for the best record in 2 weeks. It's Jack. Tied for
Still in it.
second place, it is
I like
at,
being the underdog.
at 82 and 59 and 1. But technically third place goes to Riley because he's only won 1 week. He's lost 7 and tied once. And then Bryson, who is at the same record, but has won 3 weeks outright, lost 4 and tied for 3. And then I'm in first place at 85, 56 and 1. I've won 3 weeks outright, lost 4, tied.
Hold up. I
hold
didn't know.
up.
82 and 59. That's much better than I thought I was.
I'm not gonna
gonna
lie. All of these are better than what I would have.
We're all
expected.
positive.
Who counted these?
I did.
I don't think the host should count. Recount.
You're just
This
mad
is
you're
rigged.
you got 77.
Okay,
and
Trump.
64.
No, I'm what's the other recount? It was Al Gore and
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Florida.
Al Gore in 2000
Yeah,
be like,
it's Al Gore and George Bush and the Florida count, right? That's what it was about. Yeah, that's what I am. Don't
Stop
compare
the
me. To,
count.
But let's get into these week 11 picks. We're going to start with Thursday night football, prime time, and that is the Tennessee Titans going to Green Bay to take on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. And
how is Green Bay favored?
one,
It's on the
because
road.
It's on the road.
And
it's
they
on
What
just
do you
won.
mean? How is Green Bay
Have you
favored?
hold on, have you seen the Titans offense? It's
Yeah,
it's horrid. It's horrid.
Vegas will strike again.
But with that, I'm going to bring out the stat. Tennessee is 6-3 on the season. They're 6-0 against teams with a losing record, 0-3 against teams with a winning record. Green Bay's record is 4-6. Give me the Titans
Nah,
on the
that's
road
streak ends.
in prime time.
See, I wanted to pick an underdog. I was like, okay, Titans are going to be favorite. I'm picking underdog. But now I'm picking the favorite. That's just lame, but I'm still going to do it. Give me Green Bay.
Yeah, I feel you, but I think I'm going to have to pick Tennessee. I think that what we were talking about earlier, a couple of years ago, Tennessee went into Green Bay and just got boat raced by a much better Green Bay team than this team.
Yeah, 2020.
And I think that the guy like Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, some of those guys, Jeffrey Simmons that were on that team, which we don't know if he's going to play. But I think the guys that were on that team remember that, and I think they're going to be locked in for this game. And even though the Packers did play good last week, is Christian Watson going to have another 3-touchdown game?
Probably not. Aaron Jones scares me more than Christian Watson does.
I would agree with that.
The Titans
but
still
the
have
Titans
the best
run defense,
line.
the Titans run defense has been awesome this year. And I just feel like based on what we've seen from the whole season outside of last week, the Packers passing attack has not been good. It hasn't been good. So I think I'm gonna pick the Titans. I'll go with the Titans for this one.
Riley?
I'm like 50-50 on this. Because if Christian Fulton plays,
He was questionable and he missed against the Broncos, but if he plays,
if Christian Fulton plays, I kind of am leaning towards Tennessee. Because like, who does Green Bay have that's gonna?
No one. Really.
No one.
Exactly.
They're gonna have to win this game by running the ball and playing good.
And Tennessee's
And that's
defense
Tennessee's
is
game.
that's
I know.
Tennessee's
Literally
strength.
They're gonna have
Tennessee's
to
game.
outbeat Tennessee's game.
In the snow.
Is
Is
it
it
supposed to
snowing?
snow?
It's supposed to, yeah.
Go, give me Green Bay.
Of course.
Let's go.
Give me the Titans.
I actually like that for the Titans more than I like it for Green Bay.
Nah.
Because
Make a pick.
I'm going Tennessee.
Yeah.
I'm going
Yes,
to
Lone Wolf.
All
Love
right,
it.
let's move it on to Sunday, starting off at the early games. Bears taking on the Falcons. I'm going to go Chicago.
Yes, me too. I'm very confident about this pick, actually. Like I said, Chicago has been on the upswing, but they've lost 3 close games. This is the week they get the dub.
Bryson?
This one is a tough one for me, just because Atlanta is at home, but they look so bad on Thursday Night Football, and the Bears' offense has looked so good for the last 3 weeks. I think I'm gonna have to agree with y'all. I'm gonna go with the Bears. They have to win at some point. They can't keep playing the way they've been playing and
The
keep
Bears
losing.
are 1-4 on the road. Falcons are 2-3 at home.
3-2.
3-2. That's what I meant.
Yeah, they're about to be 3-3 though. So let's go Chicago.
Make it a sweep.
Wow.
For the
That's-
Chicago
We
that's-
swept the
Bears.
dog.
That's a back-to-back. That's back-to-back sweep for the Bears, and it's going to bite us in the butt.
Probably.
Of course.
I
I just
They
like
should've
won
I
the
like
Lions game.
Jaquan Brisker too much. I think he's a
Moving
ball
on,
hog.
next game, we got Browns going to Buffalo to take on the Bills, who have a really bad taste in their mouth. I am going to go Buffalo, but I will not be surprised if the Browns make this close.
Hammer that line. Hammer it
It's
first.
eight,
Buffalo.
8.5 Buffalo.
Yes, Buffalo's winning big.
I won't be surprised if the Browns keep it close. That's all I'm going to say. I
Bryson.
think Buffalo's going to win.
Bounce back game at home. Bills Mafia is going to be going crazy. Josh Allen is going to have a bad taste in his mouth. Bills by 3 tutties.
Dude,
Wow.
the Browns can't stop
Make it a
anybody.
sweep for the
The
Bills.
defense is so
All right. Speaking of bad taste in their mouths, it's the Eagles trying to bounce back against the Colts in Indianapolis. Philly is 6.5-point favorite, and there's no way Jeff Saturday goes 2-0. And there's no way. No
Dude,
way.
you know what? I'll almost if the Eagles would have won like the game last night
I
on
could
Monday
have
night would have gone the way we thought it was. I could have saw this as a trap game.
I could have seen that
You know,
because Jeff Saturday back at home for the first time. Matt Ryan
Yeah.
back in the starting lineup at home for the first time since being benched. I could see it, but no, the Eagles.
since they lost though, I'm going
Yeah.
Philly.
I'm gonna go Philly as well. I mean, I talked about I think a couple weeks ago. I said I'm picking Philly for like the first 12 weeks of the season, regardless of what happens. And I think I'm gonna, even though they lost, even though I was wrong, I think that makes me 8-1 on the Eagles pick so far this year.
Yeah, boy.
So
There you go.
I'll take the Eagles again.
Make it a sweep for Philly.
Moving on, we have the Jets coming off a bye, taking on the Patriots, also coming off a bye.
Yeah.
So 2 teams who are well rested and have had plenty of time to get to know each other. Patriots took out the last one. They'll be at home. Oh, man, I'm gonna go Jets. I just think they're on a roll, and I think they'll win despite Zach Wilson. I think that defense is gonna look. Mac Jones has not been playing well. I don't care who's in at quarterback for the Patriots; they just haven't been playing well. I think that Jets defense has been playing phenomenally. Give me the Jets in this one. I think they split the season 1-1.
this is that the Patriots just always get the Jets somehow, and they're at home. It's in Foxborough, coming off a bye, which equally favors New England, I would think, than the Jets. There's no advantage for New York there, so I'm gonna go with the home team.
I don't know if I can go with that. I think the Jets have just been better all season. I know their records are very similar. I think the Jets
are also undefeated on the road.
Oh,
they've not lost a game on the road. They're 4-0.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Jets in this game. They're gonna get like you said, they've had bad history with the Patriots. It's about time for them to win a game. So they're gonna win a game in Foxborough this weekend. It's going to be a good one, though. I think this is going to be one of the better games of the day.
Riley?
We got to give Jack a chance to come back, right? I'm going with the Jets.
Yes.
I think they're a better team.
Give Jack a
Two
chance
lone
to come
wolves.
back.
No, he's right. I want to be.
All right, moving on. We got a
This is
sad show here at the Rams and the Saints.
Remember when this was the NFC Championship game, like just
So
a couple of years ago?
The Rams going to be without Cooper Kupp, and because of that, there is no way in hell I am touching Matthew Stafford in anything in fantasy and picking this game. The Rams offense is going to be stagnant. Give me the Saints.
So you think the Rams are going to be 3-7?
Yeah. Dude, they don't have any offense. Look, who is Matthew Stafford going to throw it to? He doesn't like throwing it to anyone other than Cooper Kupp. He just doesn't.
Tyler Higbee.
Yeah, Tyler Higbee's going to win the game.
I'm just
saying. Give me the Saints.
This is a tough one. This
Give
is
me
a
the
tough
Saints.
one. My heart is telling me to take the Saints, though.
The Saints are at home.
It's just so crazy to think about the fact that the Rams might actually be 3-7 after this week. And I think
they sold their soul. I've been saying it all week, all season. They sold their soul for that Super Bowl.
Hey, look,
They're
I mean,
paying
hey,
for it.
I mean, there's a lot of teams that would do that. So I don't even think I think they do it again. But okay, yeah, give me the Saints. The Saints have lost 2 games in a row, but they've been so bad in those. Okay, yeah, I'll take the Saints, but I don't feel good about it.
Riley?
I'm going with New Orleans. I think it's just a much
Texas
better
pick up
team.
3 lone wolves. He texted his dad to try and figure out who to pick.
Come on now. Why you got to help me there?
Who you gonna pick?
I don't know.
Make a decision. Pick the Rams like you want to.
Dude.
Pick the Rams like you want to.
No.
I know you want to pick
He
the
hates
Rams.
the Rams.
No,
I
he
hate the
doesn't. That's the
Rams.
problem. He doesn't want to pick the Rams, but he also knows that if we sweep, the Rams are probably going to win.
Yeah, I just don't know how Sean McVay goes 3-7. But God, they have no
But they're not good.
they're
they
showing
have-
no signs of life.
I mean, hey,
Pick-
this
Are the Saints going back to Jameis?
No, I think they're sticking with Andy.
Ugh.
that's why it's
Why?
hard. I understand. No, and I'm with you with are the Rams really going to be 3-7? But the more I think about it, I mean, they
Yeah.
are 3-6.
Listen, let me put this in your mind. They have no Cooper Kupp.
I know they don't.
Who is Matthew Stafford going to throw to? Allen Robinson is
don't
not
know
going to
if it's-
take over a game.
I don't really
Tyler
know if
Higbee
it's
is not
about
going to
that.
take over a game. None of those running backs are going to take over a
not-
game.
It's not that simple to think. It's like, oh, no, Cup. Saints. There's a lot more to think
It's
about.
not like the Saints have just been world beaters or something the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
The Rams are a world.
I mean, they're
they're a pebble.
They just
they're
scored 10
nothing.
points against the Steelers, who had sucked all year defensively. I mean, I know they had TJ back. I'm gonna go New Orleans because
go.
the Saints
That's
still
a
have a
sweep.
good home field advantage.
There you go.
But I like Bryson's. No way
I
do I
don't feel
about it.
good about it.
All
yet.
right,
And
we'll move
I want
on.
to be contrarian, but I can't.
We'll move on. We got the Lions taking on the Giants at home. Giants are 4-1 at home. Lions are 1-3 on the road. New York, a 3-point favorite in this game. And you know what? I don't know who to pick in this one.
Dude,
Yeah.
I really want to pick the Lions.
I do too.
I really want to pick.
I'm gonna lean on Saquon. I trust Saquon. He's shown me that he's back into a top 5 running back in this league. Give me Saquon.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks, the reason I'm actually 5 games back, I think it was just 2 for a while, but in the picks is because I see games like this and I'm like, oh, this is a game where the road team just kind of like makes a little upset. But I've been wrong the last 2 weeks doing that, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pick the G-Men.
Yeah, last week I had a lot of gut picks that I kind of went against. My gut is telling me to pick the Lions. So I'm taking the
I
Lions in this
respect it.
game.
I respect it.
And I feel like in the past I've done okay picking the Lions.
Yep. I
So
respect it. Riley?
I think the Lions get a win on the road. Giants fall to 7-3.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Giants. I don't know. I just think their strengths
Yeah,
match up
Riley.
well against
I
Detroit's
want Riley to make an
weaknesses.
exciting pick for
So
once.
yeah, wait.
I did, and I got punished for it.
You just 3-6. So if they lose, Riley's saying that the Lions will win out after this week. Stick that on the
Oh.
record.
Because they're going to get 10 wins.
Right? Yeah, easy.
And
They're
Kadarius
not
Toney
gonna
is going to
get 10
win.
wins.
Kadarius Toney is going to win.
And I
Offensive
didn't
Player of the
say
Year.
that. Oh my god!
You said both of those things.
All right.
You said Lions
I did
will get
not
10
say
wins.
he was gonna win. Oh my!
Hey,
You're
Ooh.
peeking, bro.
Should I play the tape?
I'm okay.
We need to
Wait,
find it.
what tape
We're going to play the tape.
of me saying he's a super duper dark horse candidate?
Anyways, moving on. We got the Panthers going to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. No way the Panthers winning this game.
Yeah.
Give me the Ravens.
Yeah, come on
What's the
now.
line?
Baltimore minus 12.
Ah, yeah. Baltimore.
Give me the Ravens.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Baker? That's a sweep. Give me Baltimore.
Oh yeah, PJ has the sprain.
Yeah. Moving on.
Dang.
Commanders, the world beaters, on top of the world right now, taking on the worst team in the league and the Houston Texans. And sorry, Houston, you're not getting your second win as the Commanders will beat you. And Taylor Heineke will now buy some blue and red and
Hey,
white.
and this is what I'll
Jordans.
say. Taylor Heineke doesn't even have to do anything because Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson are going to run for a
Antonio
combined.
Gibson got hurt.
Oh, he
last
got
night.
hurt? Oh, I didn't
He's
even
okay,
see
though.
that.
I don't know if it was bad, but it was his
Yeah.
ankle.
Oh, okay.
He was
Well,
reaching at
if
his
he's
ankle,
back,
and but either way, Brian Robinson can handle that.
No.
Terry McLaurin's gonna eat them up.
I think if Gibson and Brian Robinson, if they both play, they're going to combine for 250 on the ground.
You know, Washington low key doesn't
Maybe 200,
but
but
they kind of have a good offense.
And their defensive line, top 3 in the
Oh,
league.
Chase Young's playing this week.
Oh, yeah. Give me the Commanders. Give
yeah,
me the Commanders.
Commanders all the way.
Right,
they're
let's
going to
go.
take that momentum, get
Yeah.
that momentum.
Next up is the crap show. The Raiders, the 2-7 Raiders, who are 0-5 on the road, taking on the 3-6 Broncos.
You know
who are
what's
I wish this
crazy?
game was
home.
prime time.
No. You know what's crazy? Is if you told like looking at the beginning of the season, a lot of people probably would have been like, "Oh, that'll be a pretty good game."
How many Broncos fans bought tickets to this game saying this was going to be fun?
Yeah, this will be a good
I
game.
mean,
You know,
they actually have a
Devontae
chance to
Adams
win.
versus Jerry Jeudy, and now
I'm-
Jerry Judy's not going to be playing probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah.
Oh man. I really want to pick the Raiders because I saw the Broncos play against the Titans and they're
They're
bad.
so bad.
But the Raiders,
You also saw the Raiders play against the Titans, and they were not good either.
the Raiders looked a lot better against the Titans than
Because
the
Matt
Broncos did.
Collins picked on Terrence Mitchell.
They literally can't stop anybody. Like the Raiders' run defense is the worst.
All right, can we just have a collective pick in this game? Because I don't know if either of these teams. Can we pick a
The
tie?
Raiders won
No, I
last
was
time.
about to say, hey, if you pick a tie and it actually works, that counts as 5 wins.
Broncos are one of the Raiders' only wins, or two. You know, one of the two.
Yeah, give me the Broncos. Give me the Broncos. Give me
Yeah.
the Broncos at home.
Yeah, me too.
You know what?
When in doubt, go with the home team.
I understand that. I'm picking the Raiders.
It's not
They're
a
in
terrible.
shambles, dude. They're gonna lose.
They are.
Watch
but
them lose
they
this
have,
game by like 17. McDaniels get fired.
They have
Listen.
to win a game at some point.
Listen to this.
They have too much talent
Here's
to
a stat.
not win a game
I-
at some point.
If the Broncos had scored at least 18 points in every single one of their games, they'd be 8-1 right now.
That's insane.
They're scoring 18 points on the Raiders because the Raiders defense sucks. They're going to score 18 points exactly and win. That's all I'm saying.
18-6,
It's going to be like 18-9.
12.
Some ugly
Dude,
score.
all I'm saying is if Nick Westbrook-Akina can do what he did against the Broncos, what do you think
Poor-
Devontae Adams could do?
It's really, but Westbrook.
and
not like
again,
he
a
had
lot of that
10
was on the
catches for-
flea. A lot of that was on the flea
Yeah.
flicker.
I mean, yeah,
It
but still.
was almost a little fluky.
Okay.
okay,
Riley,
what
who
if
you going
Devontae
with?
Adams was running?
Devontae Adams going to be matched up with Surtain, so you can't really. say.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
okay.
the point I was about to bring up.
I got you.
I'm taking Denver for that reason. I think
Robert Woods'
There's not
matchup with
much.
Sertan have got locked up.
Yeah.
So.
it was bad.
Or Traylon. Traylon actually played 75% of the snaps.
Yeah. So moving
Thank
on,
God.
a really good game coming up. Cowboys, Vikings. And I picked them last week. I'm going to stick with them because Lil Kirk Cousins is my man. I don't care how bad or good he looks. He just somehow finds ways to win. That team loves Kirk Cousins. Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the league. Dalvin Cook finally looks like himself. That defense doesn't look terrible. Give me the Vikings.
No, this is where they slip up. And the Cowboys coming
Hey.
off a loss.
Dallas is favored by 1
And you know what?
on the road.
People
That is crazy.
will think like you and hammer Minnesota.
I'm not hammering Minnesota because I think it'll be a close game, but I'm picking the Vikings to win out because they all 7 or all 8 of their wins have been 1-score games.
I know.
All 8 of their wins have been 1-score games. They know how to win.
They do. I love
True.
Minnesota a lot, but they
This is a tough one.
they just came off a big win. They're gonna be tired all week. I just feel like Dallas is gonna get them.
This is what I'll say. I have very bad history in picking the Cowboys on the road. Like in the last 2 years of this podcast, almost every time I've picked the Cowboys on the road, they've lost, I feel like. So I'm going to go with the Vikings. I'm going to go with Joseph on this one. I do agree that for the Cowboys, you could see some bounce back thing like we're talking about. But if you look at like the last few years of the Cowboys, I feel like they always have a good start. And then it's around this point in the season where they start dropping games and it starts getting scary and people start asking what's wrong with Dak and all that. It happens every year.
Yeah.
It's happened like clockwork around week 11. Like you start getting worried about the Cowboys after they have a good start.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be something else added on top of that. Cowboys fans are not going to be happy. And yeah, give me the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Vikings as well. Justin Jefferson's matches up so well against Trayvon Diggs. I think that is a mismatch, and yeah, I think that's something that you're gonna see Kirk Cousins try to exploit. And also, I think if Dalvin Cook can put up what he did against the Buffalo defense, which has not been a bad defense, he can do it against the Cowboys.
All right, moving on. We got the Bengals and the Steelers, a divisional game. Steelers coming off a pretty big win. They got TJ Watt back. Bengals coming off a bye week, I believe.
Yep.
Joe Burrow's going to be healthy and rested up from getting beaten and battered all season. They could have Jamar Chase back. Not sure if
he wasn't on
will be.
IR, so he can come back.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They could have him back. I'm not sure if they will or not. And Joe Mixon coming off that 5 touchdown game.
Yeah.
Incredible performance. I'm going to go Bengals on the road.
Yeah, me too. Steelers got them in week 1. They won't let it happen again. They're the much better team.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to go with the Bengals. Like you said, coming off of a good performance in their last game. I don't know if the Steelers are going to be able to get 2 wins in a row. Give me the Bengals. I think they're the better team. But still shout out to the Steelers for winning last week. They played really well, I think.
Do it.
Sweep.
I thought he was going to low wolf. Moving on to Sunday Night Football. It's the Chiefs and the Chargers. And listen, LA, I like Justin Herbert. I like your defense, Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, Derwin James, all those guys. Love them. I think when healthy, you're a top 5 to 8 team in the league. That's the thing. You're not healthy. You got no wide receivers. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, not going to play.
They'll both be at practice.
They'll
both be practicing.
I think they might actually. I think Mike Williams will play, not Keenan.
I don't think Keenan Allen will play. And even when Mike Williams is there, the Dolphins still look stagnant. If he's having a bad game, they're having a bad game. Give me the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is just too dominant.
Yeah, man. The Chiefs show up in primetime. They just find ways to win.
Yeah.
I think that, like you said, I don't even know if both receivers do come back. It elevates their offense, obviously, but it just feels like there's a deeper problem a little bit with the Chargers. You know what? Quick side tangent for just like 30 seconds. People compare Justin Herbert to a lot of great quarterbacks. Oh, I see Brett Favre. I see all this. You know who I see in Justin Herbert? And this might be a cold take, and it might not work out, but I see Matt Ryan. Like, I watched so much Falcons in the 2000 teens, so much because I had Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, Roddy White on my fantasy teams. And Matt Ryan, it'd be like 3rd and 11, need a first down to keep the game in balance, and he just check it down. Like, they don't make big throws in big moments. And I just am worried about the Chargers a little bit. I'm going to take the Chiefs.
All right, listen to this. In 8 games against the Chargers in his career, Patrick Mahomes has a passer rating of 97.5 with 2,062 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions against his career.
What's his record against LA?
I don't know where the win-loss is. But those
StatMuse. Where's the win-loss? Bryson, you know the StatMuse.
He's 6-2. Right? He's 6-2.
I don't know them personally.
You use it enough.
Oh, yeah, I definitely use StatMuse. Shout out StatMuse. Except for that tweet they put out earlier talking about John Zion. We didn't actually shout out to them for that because I hope Josh sees
his last look. Let's just look at his.
Oh, leave it to you to bring in John Marino.
His last 2 games, he is a rating of 105.8 and 106.3. He's thrown for 410 yards and 235 yards and 5 touchdowns combined, so 3 and 2. Man, even in that loss, he threw for 3 touchdowns, but he also threw for 2 interceptions.
That was probably a really good game. I think I remember that. Yeah.
This is what I'm going to say.
Give me Mahomes.
I'm going to pick the Chiefs, but I would also take Chargers plus 6.5, I think. I think this is going to be a close game.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, Chiefs play everyone pretty close.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Good team.
Sweep. Give me Kansas City.
Riley's just waiting to say sweep all the time.
Yeah. And for
It's
Monday
fun.
Night Football, we're headed to Mexico this week as the international games continue as the 49ers and the Cardinals head down south to play in Mexico City. And there's one reason I'm picking the 49ers and one reason only. And it's not because the Cardinals are bad, but it's because Warzone 2 is coming out tomorrow. And Kyler Murray is going to spend all week playing.
What if they
it.
start Colt McCoy? What if Kyler's hamstring still bothers
I'm still picking the 49ers over Colt McCoy.
Dude, I watched Jimmy Garoppolo's post-game interview, and he was smiling so big, because they just won. He goes, I'm just so excited to go in Mexico City. Just can't wait.
Bro, he
I'm just like,
hey,
that guy gets it.
Hey, Jimmy knows why he's going down to Mexico
Like,
City.
that
for.
guy gets it. So I'm going to take the Niners. They're the best.
Oh yeah, I forgot that Riley has to go last every time.
I'll
yeah.
always write my pick down first.
Okay, whatever. So
On his hand with a pen.
Give me the 49ers. I'll take the 49ers too.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll rock with y'all on this one.
Sweep.
Boo.
Boo.
This
What
is-
am I supposed to be Kyler Murray?
Hey, the
Colt
sweep,
McCoy? No.
I just want to say the sweeps
I love
did not
how
go well last week.
The sweeps was bad
What
last
was the
week.
record on the sweep?
The sweeps. We had loss in the Atlanta Carolina game, loss in the Seattle Tampa Bay game, loss in the Chicago Detroit game, win in the Kansas City Jacksonville, win in the New York Giants Houston, loss in the New Orleans Pittsburgh,
How did we sweep?
win in the Tennessee Denver, loss in the Las Vegas Indy, loss in the Dallas Green Bay, and loss in the Philly Washington.
So it's what, 3-5, 3-6? Not great. Not great for the sweeps
Yeah,
last week.
3-7
it's funny.
in 3-7 in sweeps.
And I mean this in no mean way at all. But Riley's of us four, let's say Riley's the most reserved guy, just chill, laid back, most laid back, right? It's definitely not me or Joseph.
Definitely.
But I think Riley's the most laid back, which is not a bad thing. But then when we get on Riley in this podcast, he turns into Michael Irvin.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He's like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah." You can't even understand what he's saying. Almost. Yeah. So we get in the locks. We done with picks?
Yeah, time to get into our
time to get into
locks.
locks. And
And
hold
locks
up, this is what
records.
I will say. Joseph said something very mean to me earlier. He said if he was listening to my locks, he would run out of money. Listen, okay, time out. First of all, I hope y'all understand that most of these, I'm guessing just like everybody else.
Listen,
okay?
listen. I just
Like,
let me
let's be
go
honest.
through the locks record. Riley and I are tied in first place at 18-12. However, I'm giving myself the crown because I've had three. I've had
I've been more consistent.
3 perfect weeks.
I'd rather lay
I
my
have
money with
3
Riley.
3-0 weeks. Riley only has 1. Jack is at 14-16, so almost back at 500. 2-1 week.
I'm not
will put
even
you
close to
Big coming
500.
back
I
at
know.
500. Oh no, you need a perfect week this week to get you back over 500. And then Bryson is in last place at 13-17.
Hey,
So
I'm an
not
NBA
bad.
guy. I bet
not
on the
bad,
NBA, not
but
the NFL. Remember
not-
that.
great. So do you want to go first, Bryson?
I can go first because my first lock of the week probably it's definitely an iffy one, but I already said it. Give me Chargers plus 6.5. The Chiefs have played everybody close. I feel like this is a game that could end up going to overtime. The one thing that does scare me is that if they win on a last second touchdown or something, they win by 7. But I think plus 6.5 is still good. I think we might see a game winning field goal. And then the Chargers are also at home. And it's not like the Chargers are a scrub team. Obviously, they've had some injuries,
Right.
but it's not insane to say. I mean, the Titans almost beat them on the road, and the Chargers' offense is still better than what the Titans. I mean, they don't have the same defense, obviously,
Yeah.
but I think they could put up some points. So I'll take that. Give me the under in Atlanta and Chicago. It's at 50. I don't know if I can get behind that. I know that Chicago has had 30 plus points in the last 2 weeks, but between the two of those teams, I'm
Can
not.
Atlanta score 20?
That's what
the
I'm
thing.
thinking.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, just whenever I see a over under that's at 50, it's like you almost always want to take the under, so I'll take that.
Unless it's like a Kansas City, Buffalo, something like that, like a game that could be like super high flying, something like that. Yeah.
And then for my last one, I got to bet on Lamar playing against the Carolina Panthers. Give me a Lamar Jackson anytime rushing touchdown.
I hope so. Feels like he hasn't done it in like a month.
Exactly.
I mean, he's been getting it done with his arm. So.
Or wait, actually, I might switch it to 2 passing touchdowns.
Ooh.
That's a little that's risky.
Yeah. No,
What?
Lamar.
Man, I think I would
Lamar
almost say the way
2
they've been-
touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns against the Panthers. Lock it in.
I would almost say the way the Ravens have been playing in the red zone that the rushing touchdown is riskier.
Jack, you want to go next?
Yeah, my first luck is Washington covering 3. You didn't say that, right?
No, I did not say
Yeah,
that.
Washington covering 3 against Houston all day long.
Oh, yeah, that's easy lock too.
Yeah, my next lock. Let's see, I just had it.
You said it was Washington cover 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Bengals cover 4.5 on the road against Pittsburgh.
That's a good pick. I like that.
And then who's Detroit playing this week?
The Giants.
Saquon. I don't even know his prop, but I'm gonna say
Let's see
it's
I think I can find it
probably
right
under
here.
90. So I'm gonna say 90 and above rushing yards.
Let's see if they have it right here.
I'll confidently go with that.
That's a good pick for especially against the Lions. The Lions defense has been so bad, and Saquon's been awesome this year.
127 rushing and receiving. So they have they have a combo for him.
Yeah, just give me 90 rushing. Y'all take that, right?
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. That's valid.
Riley?
All right. So I'm going to go with a Cole Kmet anytime receiving touchdown.
Good pick.
New Orleans -4 to cover 4 points. I think they can do that.
And if
And
they do that, will you sweep, right?
this one is going to be a little funky, but I saw this and I was kind of excited about it. I'm taking Chigakonkwo over 10 and a
I saw
half
that.
yards receiving.
I saw that.
He's going to get one catch for like 50 yards.
Exactly. In his last 3 games, his last 2 games, he's had 1 catch for over 40 yards.
Yeah.
In the game before that, 1 catch for 3 yards. But Mike Vrabel did say in the post-game press conference that he wants to get Chigakonkwo more involved because
Yeah.
of how he plays with the ball in his hands. So I think it's safe to say I think he could easily get 10 and a half yards receiving against who was it? Green Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he can.
They've
They've
find
been
a-
susceptible to tight ends.
I'm
too.
also going to touch on this Green Bay game. And they have Aaron Jones at 58 and a half rushing yards. Give me the over. There's no if Green Bay goes away from giving Aaron Jones the ball, they're losing this game. And
Yeah.
I just don't think that they're stupid enough to see what happened last week and say, oh, let's not give Aaron Jones the ball. Plus, if it's going to be snowing, you're not going to want to throw it. You're going to want to run the ball a lot more. Give me Aaron Jones over 58 and a half. I still think the Titans win that game. I think their rush defense is insane, but they're going to give Aaron Jones like 25 to 30 carries in this game, and he's just going to hit that easily.
Yep.
My second is give me the Browns at +8.5. I think they cover. Like I said, I think this will be a close game. I think
That's
the Bills.
a loss.
I think it'll come back. It's supposed to be risky. They're not supposed to be easy.
I also thought his Washington +11 was going to be a loss, but we see how that turned out.
and it turned out to be Washington -11.
Yeah.
So, so I'll do that, and then I am going to take the give me the under in the Saints Rams game, 38.5.
Ooh.
No offense in that game.
That's a good pick. Yeah.
No offense in that game.
Good pick.
I
Yeah,
just
take
I
that,
don't man, that Rams game. Rams suck, dude.
What
They're
should-
awful.
This is an
Which-
interesting week for locks.
What should
I
be
like
the
this.
Jaguars aren't by this week, so I'm gonna be sad. What should be the next Jaguars jersey I buy? I got the TLT law. That's all I got.
You need ETN. You've been
ETN, yeah,
so high on.
obviously.
You need ETN or Kirk.
Jet black.
Oh yeah, gotta
Yeah.
get black.
Yeah, I can't go 2 teals, right?
Gotta get black. No. You
I
gotta
do
get- you
like
gotta
their
back
white
up.
jerseys though with the black numbers. They're kind of sick, and I look good in white.
Yeah, but you got to go color when you get NFL jersey. You got to go color.
Yeah, I'll go jet black ETN number 1.
Any final
Yeah.
thoughts for
Wish he
week
was number
10
9.
heading into week 11?
Not really.
Big game for Derrick Henry coming on Thursday Night Football. Lock it in. He always plays good on Thursday night.
In the snow? Yeah.
I hope so.
Give me D. Henry.
Well, this has been another edition of the Cover 4 podcast brought to you by WTK's Rock Solid Sports. Don't forget to like and share to get all past and future episodes of the Cover 4 podcast for all of your NFL news, takes, and more. For Bryson, Jack, Riley, I'm Joseph, and we'll see y'all next week on the next edition of Cover 4.